Hello, sexy people, and welcome to another episode of Real Deal. I'm Andrew Fantasia. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button so I can keep making videos for all of you. So what happened this week in entertainment news? Well, kind of a big thing happened on Sunday night. We got the big Solo trailer. That's right, we've had our little teaser, we've had our teaser for the teaser, but this is our first official trailer for Solo, A Star Wars Story. We got a lot more information. We got to see Lando talk, finally, and I just gotta say, Donald Glover, that man was born to play Lando Calrissian. I mean, he just exudes the 70s charm of Billy D. He's just got that whole, that moment in the trailer where he turns around to Han and he says, "You better buckle up, baby." That's Billy D. He nailed it. I cannot wait to see this character again. We also got some other cool little tidbits in this trailer. We saw a little bit of Paul Bettany. I think it was Paul Bettany, and he's got some weird stuff on his face, and he's got this little knife that's all like red and stuff. That looked wicked. Then, of course, there's the big one, Chewbacca's wife. We only saw her from behind, and it's not even 100% confirmed that it is in fact his wife, but if I know my Star Wars, I will put money down saying that is, in fact, Mala, Mrs. Chewbacca herself, and she's saying either hello or goodbye to her husband. It looks like, they're holding each other and touching heads like they're either about to leave each other or they've just seen each other after a great time apart. But, man, how... Just that just makes me so happy inside. We now live in a world where we're going to get to see, in a big budget live action movie, Chewbacca's wife. Now I know how, when Kevin Smith was talking about The Dark Knight Rises and how he loved it so much because he said, "I can't believe we have this beautifully crafted movie, this big budget Hollywood Batman movie that has Talia al Ghul in it, of all people." And he's a big Batman guy, so that's sort of like my equivalent of that is like, I can't believe I'm seeing a big Star Wars movie with Mala the Wookiee in it. It just blows my mind. I could not be happier. That shot alone got me more excited than anything else in this trailer. But speaking of Han Solo, there is more news on that front. It looks like we might know a little bit more about our mysterious armor-clad villain. This person right here is named Emphys Nest. And we don't know anything about this character other than the fact that they wear some pretty damn cool-looking armor that's almost Mandalorian, but not quite. They lead a group of similarly armored people who live out in some sort of barren desert landscape, and it looks like Han Solo is going to come to some sort of a major disagreement with them if this trailer is any indication. Well, Emphys Nest might be, in fact, a female. There are some pieces of merchandise that have been released for the Solo movie in other countries. One of these countries being France. And on this piece of French merchandise, it looks like it's a trading card or something. If you flip it to the back, it does like what a trading card would do, is it tells you like a little paragraph of information about this character. Now, the cool thing about French and like pretty much a lot of languages other than English, for some reason English doesn't do this, we're weird like that. Most European languages have words that are either male or female. If you took French or Spanish in high school, you would know that there's like a column for words that are male words and a column for words that are female words. That's just how those languages work. And in this French description of Emphys Nest, they are using the female terms to describe the character. Emphys Nest, une maraudeuse extrêmement dangereuse, se forge rapidement une infâme réputation, aussi bien pour elle que pour son gang de pirates, les Cloud Riders. Now, my French is a little rusty, but it looks like that says Emphys Nest, an extremely dangerous criminal, has quickly forged a fiery reputation, as well as being the leader of a gang of pirates called the Cloud Riders. That's kind of what I gather from that. Again, it's been a while since I've taken French class. Those terms they used to describe Emphys Nest were all female terms. Unless that's a huge glaring typo on the part of whoever made that card, I think now we can say it's confirmed Emphys Nest is going to be a female. Who's playing her, though? That's interesting. Are we going to get to see what's under that mask, or is it going to be more of like a Boba Fett thing where it's just a mystery? Either way, I'm down. This is great. I just love the look of Emphys Nest. I want an action figure of her, like, now, like, today. I'm on board. I've always been on board. Let's go. Come on, May. Get here. Did you like Ready Player One? Are you excited for the potential Ready Player 2? Well, how about Ready Player 3? Yeah, apparently this might already be a thing. Ernest Cline was doing another interview to promote both the new movie and his upcoming book. He has gone on record now more than a handful of times saying that he's been working on a sequel on a Ready Player 2 for quite a while now. However, in this recent interview, Ernest Cline dropped a hint saying that he always envisioned this story to be a trilogy. Now, I'm obviously, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Let's see if Player 2 is a good book, because I don't think his second book, Armada, was very good at all. But here's hoping, the world of Ready Player One is his specialty, and maybe he should just stick with that. This, of course, has me all giddy. I mean, the second I finished reading Ready Player One, I was already writing a sequel in my brain, because that's how excited the book made me. And I might just write that sequel for fun, just to amuse myself, because that's how much I love that world that he created. But if we are, in fact, getting a Ready Player 2 and a Ready Player 3, ooh, the possibilities are staggering. I hope this is true. What do you think? Is Ernest Cline is he just tooling with us? Is he just having some fun? Either way, I just want to see more of the Oasis. Bring it on, baby. Speaking of Ernest Cline's book, Armada, if you'd read it, you'd know that it is basically a huge love letter to two specific things: the book Ender's Game and the movie The Last Starfighter. Now, I'm not crazy about Armada. I'm not crazy about the book Ender's Game. But The Last Starfighter is an 80s treasure, especially Catherine Mary Stewart's dreamy eyes. Catherine, call me. If The Last Starfighter was a movie that floated your boat, then I may have some potentially good news. Gary Whitta, this guy right here, he is the man behind a handful of video games, screenplays, books. He worked on After Earth, he worked on Rogue One, he worked on the Walking Dead video games. This guy has his fingers in a bunch of different pies. Primarily been a main focus in the Star Wars universe. He's written a lot of Star Wars novels. He has been tapped to write a reboot of The Last Starfighter. Now, this is still in the very preliminary stages. We don't even know if this thing is going to be 100% greenlit or what, but Whitta is behind it. He got his start writing for video game magazines. This guy knows gaming, and seeing as how he worked on things like After Earth and Rogue One and other Star Wars projects, he also knows science fiction. The Last Starfighter is about gaming and science fiction being smooshed together like Nutella and peanut butter in a delicious sandwich, and oh my god, I need to eat right now. Gary Whitta seems like the perfect guy to do this. I liked Last Starfighter. I'm excited to see something like that happen again. Will it be as good? I don't know. Maybe not. It's a modern reboot, so, it could fall either way. But I trust Gary Whitta, and I think this could be a very fun movie. Just bring back Catherine Mary Stewart. I know she's probably old now, but I'm fine with that. And keeping on the subject of the 80s, you remember that little movie called The Terminator? And that little franchise that it spawned, and it had its ups and downs and such? Well, there is, in fact, a sixth Terminator movie on the horizon. I think it's supposed to come out in about a year and a half. Now, this Terminator is supposedly going to ignore everything from 3 onward. It's going to pick up after Terminator 2 Judgment Day and carry on the story from there. I take that as sort of a mixed blessing. I thought 3 was okay. I hated Salvation. And I really liked at least the first 3 quarters of Genesis. I thought that the way they recreated the elements of the first movie in Genesis with the time travel, I was so happy with that. I was like, that is how you do a time travel story. That's exactly it. And I don't understand, granted, I know that movie did kind of become a cluster F in the third act, but I don't understand why more people didn't like that movie. It's universally reviled. I think I'm the only person who enjoyed it, and I'm really sad because I liked what they did. I loved what they did. But regardless, we're getting Terminator 6, and it's going to cancel out everything there. And this 6th movie is just going to be basically like a 3rd movie. So this franchise is a hot mess. I just wish somebody would friggin' stick to their guns and just whatever. Actor Diego Boneta from Scream Queens, and Rock of Ages has been cast as one of the leads in Terminator VI. Now, he's going to be starring alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is back as the Terminator, and Linda Hamilton, who's actually reprising her role as Sarah Connor. Now, who Diego is playing is anybody's guess. Is he an adult John Connor? Who knows? I have no idea where this story is going to go. Maybe he's going to be another Terminator. Honestly, we cannot say. But his casting has been made official. He is part of the Terminator 6 family now. God only knows what that means. I just hope we get more creative time travel. That's all I ask, baby. And throw in Catherine Mary Stewart if you want. I'll be fine with that too. This final piece of news makes me so damn happy. Guillermo Del Toro, who is behind latest Best Picture winner, The Shape of Water, is finally getting what he deserves. I've said several times before that Guillermo Del Toro, he's one of my favorite directors simply for the fact that he has so many wonderful, original ideas and concepts and beautiful stories to tell and beautifully visual ways to tell them. But he constantly suffered in the Hollywood atmosphere because his movies were not financially viable enough to be backed by major studios. Hellboy barely got made. He had to struggle and fight and pull hairs to get Hellboy 2 made. And Hellboy 3, which was supposed to close out the series, is never going to happen now because the studios just were not having it. They would not pony up the money to make something like Hellboy 3. Del Toro also had designs to adapt the H.P. Lovecraft story At the Mountains of Madness into a really creepy horror movie, and that would have been fantastic. But again, nobody wanted to give him the money to do it because his movies just did not pull in enough bank to make those nervous studio execs comfortable. So for the longest time, Guillermo Del Toro was just scraping by and getting every movie made barely by the seat of his pants. But now, finally, because of the success of The Shape of Water, people in the industry are finally cluing in, waking up, smelling the coffee, and giving this man what he needs to make whatever he wants to make. Fox Searchlight, who is the studio behind The Shape of Water, has been the first studio in the history of the universe to finally clue in to the fact that this man has the potential to make great things. They're in the process of creating a new label under their studio, a label that has yet to be named, but this label will be specifically put to use to produce these horror movies and these science fiction movies and these big genre films with a intelligent twist similar to The Shape of Water. And Guillermo Del Toro's movies are primed and ready to go under this new label. In fact, he's already got one in the works right now called Antlers. Now, we don't know too much about Antlers right now, but Guillermo Del Toro has said that Antlers is inspired by movies like Halloween and The Exorcist. So this is going to be another dive into the dark pits of horror that Del Toro was known for, but I'm sure it's also going to have his trademark heart and fairy tale spirit that he brings to everything. This makes me so happy. This man is finally getting the recognition he deserves for being such a fantastic storyteller. Fox Searchlight, kudos to you for finally giving this boy the chance to put all his ideas out into the world and let them be enjoyed by everyone. I can't wait for this new label to come out. This is the most fantastic news I've heard in a long, long time. As the Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth would say, es bueno. My Spanish isn't great either. I'm sorry. So that has been today's episode of Real Deal. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you here shortly. Until then, adios.